and welcome to this live chat. Okay, want to make it very interactive. I would like to get your comment, know what you think about this subject concerning wars and religion, how they're similar, what are the similarities. Okay, for example, we know that the media shares a lot of propaganda. Okay, and propaganda is to keep you confused, is to keep you in confusion, is to distract you from the truth. And what is truth? Truth is that which you have experience of, and you are a first-hand witness of what you're speaking about. Okay, so once we dive into the similarities, okay, of wars and religion, and we look at the war that has been fought right now, the war that have gotten the attention of the world, a war that involves the entire globe, a war that would impact everyone on this planet one way or another. Okay, you can help but see how it is just like religion, whereby everyone is looking for a justification to justify their action. It's the same thing with religion. People always looking for justification by pointing fingers and blaming an entity or an enemy, and that entity and that enemy, it never is pointing towards them. It always pointing away from them. Okay, and what they're trying to do there is to remove or make null and void the law of cause and effect, which is a immutable law. So for someone to believe that they can show the effect, but they cannot show the cause and get away with it, they're very delusional. And using the word delusional, we are describing people like Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu and their advisors who is behind this foolish war that doesn't make any sense. Because when you think about this war and the impact of this war and the impact of every other war, you'd realize it is more of people using their destructive power instead of using their innovative, creative power, instead of using their power to uplift humanity. It is using a power to bring fear on those of us having this human experience on this planet. Yet, these are the same ones that is pointing you to believe in some supreme being outside of yourself. These are the same ones who are telling you that there's some just, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent one that exists, that wants to save you, that wants to deliver you, when they are the ones that are raining havoc on you. First, by capturing your mind at a very early stage in life, in your formative years. They understand how your subconscious mind works. And that is why they work on you at a very, very early stage of life. And so when they program your subconscious mind, you would definitely believe that you are in a holy war. You believe that you're in a just, and you're doing it a just cause by being involved in a war. And you would be willing to go and fight because blindly you will have already signed with your blood as a soul dyer. You see, a soul dyer, what people call soul dyer is actually a soul dyer. You are signing to a contract, a sacrificial contract. And the people behind the contract are these politicians and these other people who wants to control your mind, control the narrative, control how you think, what you think. And that is why this whole war represent confusion, and religion represent confusion. And when they try to bring their interpretation, it never makes sense unless you uncover their plan or their agenda. Well, if you uncover the agenda of America and Israel, you would realize that they want to be the bully of the entire world so they could be in full control. And everything that stands in their way, they're going to remove it. So, for example, Venezuela was standing in their way of strengthening the dollar because it's all about the petrodollar. Okay. And the control of the mind of the masses. Okay. And so you had Hugo Chavez before you had Maduro. And because he stand against the principles that America and NATO and Israel being the brain behind of everything, they set up to control the world. They devise different plans of how to take them out. Yet these are the people who are presenting God to you. These are the people who are presenting, as I said earlier, some omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent entity to you. And I'm saying this because I'm showing you right now the devils are no longer pretending. The devils are no longer acting and pretending. It is as clear as daylight. If you have any eyes to see, you will open your eyes and see what is going on. They're no longer hiding. Okay? It's all a game for them, and they're enjoying the game. You listen to Trump's statements and you know he's just enjoying the game. You blowing up a school with a bunch of children. It's a game. And everyone is playing the victim game. And so anyone with common sense will see who is the aggressor in this war. Therefore, you see which religion has been feeding you a bunch of lies. Do all of them lie to you? Okay. And you're not to take any side. But based on what would have transpired, you can clearly see who is the aggressor. So you have to find out why this power choose to be the aggressor. Is it that they are losing power in their kingdom or their empire? Is it that people are waking up and understanding what the Epstein file is all about? And they're actually starting an Epstein war to distract you from the Epstein file. Because all of these people that involved in this war, they're in the Epstein file. Trump, Netanyahu, all of them. Okay? So, when you see the evil that has been done or perpetrated through war and religion, you can see why there's always church and state. You see why they intermingle state, and religion to confuse you and to keep you in confusion. And that's how they're able to control your mind by using energy of fear. Like, for example, you have the Bible, you have the Quran, okay? And if you do not unfold both in a psychological way or in a metaphysical and esoteric way, through you having infinite divine inner experience, which is basically awakening experience that will take your intelligence to another level, lift your IQ to another level. You will never be able to understand what is going on. You see, what we are looking at in this war, we are seeing the use of science and technology. But science and technology is equal to spirituality, but they make you separate science and technology from spirituality. And that is why most people do not know that these men that are sitting in their air-conditioned offices and so on and just giving orders, and other people's sons and daughters are going out there to fight and carry out their program. It is because they're dwelling on a different kind of level. Okay? Mentally speaking, psychologically speaking, spiritually speaking, because they have a better understanding of how the mind works. That is why they could have put themselves in a position to rule or govern over the people's mind, because that's what government is all about. It's about governing your mental. So when you see the operation of these so-called political leaders, which the people make them leaders by giving them their energy, their power, by marking what you call a X, which is basically giving their Christ consciousness energy to them, and they empower them to exercise certain authority over them, in so much that they could exercise certain authority over the world. And when I say the world, I'm talking about the masses. So a very, very few controlling the many. It's the same thing with religion. Okay. So, my brother and my sisters, this war with Israel, America, and Iran, with Israel being the aggressor and America just being the follower, and Americans fighting a Zionist war. Okay. It would never make any sense until you understand what is their agenda and what they really want to accomplish, and you understand the lies of their religion. And I'm speaking about both parties. Okay. So in short, I'm saying to you, every religion and every politician on this planet, they want to control the power of your imagination, the power of your insight, the power of your conversation, psychologically speaking and spiritually speaking. That is why Trump has been lying to the people of America, and the people are so dumb and they're so separated. The one who is behind the Democrats, he gonna speak a certain way, and then the one who's supporting the 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 next party, okay, the Republican, they're gonna speak a certain way, and then the conservative, they're gonna speak a certain way. Just like, for example, in the religious realm, you have so many different denominational organization, and and every one of them have a different conversation, and it creates confusion. So too, when it comes to the Quran and the Muslim world, you have Shia and Shiite and Sunni and different types of them, and they are speaking a different message. They are seeing things from a different perspective, and it is all confusion. It's all separation. It's all about to divide and conquer. It's still the same old strategy. been used in every country throughout this world. So those of you who listen to me who are free thinkers and who are seekers and who have an open mind, you would realize everything that they're telling you about this war is all nonsense. And everything that they're telling you about their different religion is all nonsense until you understand the power of using your own common sense, which is your infinite divine sense. In other words, I'm saying you're born in this world with a sense that cannot be controlled by governments, that cannot be controlled by the outcome of wars, because you can vibrate to what level you choose to vibrate and dwell there. That's the reason why many a times when there is inflation and when there is depression, there is always a 1%. Some people refer to the 1% as the elite. But I'm saying to you, what would make you elite is you being in control of your mind, you being in control of yourself, you understanding to love the infinite is to love yourself, your real self, your true self, to embrace the part of you that dreams, the part of you that don't sleep, the part of you that is always conscious, the part of you that is always aware. That is your higher self. That's your infinite self. And the war gonna distract you from your infinite self. And religion is gonna distract you also from your infinite self. So most people only see the physical war that is happening, but most people do not see the spiritual wars that have been taking place all the time. Most people not seeing the psychological wars that have been taking place all the time. So, my brother and my sisters, if you listen to me and you've been raised to believe in secular Christianity that's pointing you to look outwardly, and you believe the Bible to be literal, and you believe the Bible to be secular history, then you swallow the bait. And then, if you read the Quran or you read any other book from any other religion, and you believe that it is literal, and you believe that it is secular history, and you believe that it is pointing to look outwardly, and you believe that there's some greater power that resides outwardly, then you swallow the bait, because everything takes place in your consciousness, everything takes place in your awareness, everything takes place within you. All is mind, everything is mental, and everything is psychological. You have to realize that everything has to first be a thought, it has to first be an idea, it has to first be imagined. This war that is taking place have been planned for years to keep the religious structures in place. For example, Israel has put out their false prophecy that they must force their hands to bring forth to continue keep the people in mental slavery and stupidity. Those who are trapped in secular Christianity, and giving the power to these people in Israel by calling them chosen. By reading a biography that should be understood esoterically and psychologically, that they should tie to their own psyche, they are allowing the perpetrators to lead their mind in a contrary way, because they are unwilling to think for themselves. So you have evangelical and pastoral Christians and economic um, Christians, and I'm not sure if I pronounced the word right there. Okay, and you have Pentecostals, and you have all the different sects of Christianity. Okay, whereby they push a Israel narrative. Yet when Benjamin Netanyahu turn around and compare Jesus Christ to Genghis Khan, many get offended and think he shouldn't talk about Jesus and so on, and they fail to realize that it is the same people in Israel give them that kind of religion to enslave them. It is the same kind of people that was running the plantation and still running the plantation right now in a more systematic way. And so if you was to go on the internet and look at the many comments, okay, below a lot of videos, you hear and see the ignorance of these religious idiots who think that these people in Israel believe in their Jesus when it is them who give them that kind of Jesus and give them that idol and chop their soul to bring them back here all the time as slaves walking on a plantation called earth, a prison. You're in a prison and you're fighting for your mind. You have to liberate your mind out of this prison by listening to those who have already freed themselves through having awakening experience. That is why some people would go so far that they would use psychedelics to have this experience, and that those of us who do not need to use any psychedelic to have this kind of experience that would take our IQ to another level, that would bring us closer to our true self, our true essence. Like, for example, myself being a melanated person, I have to be very thankful of the melanin, which is that invisible fluid inside of me. It doesn't just give me my complexion, it helps me to have a further understanding of my identity, being my divinity. I am a divine entity having a human experience on this planet. And that is why it doesn't matter whether oil goes up to $200 a barrel or $300 a barrel. You have that oil inside of you that can give you everything and give you anything, and they do not want you to know you have that oil within you. And those of us who have experienced that oil that is within, they're gonna censor us on social media, they're gonna shadow ban us. That is why those of you who listen to me, and those of you being empowered, those of you who are being informed, those of you who get knowledge from this platform, you need to support this platform. If you check out this channel, you would see the other videos that I do post on my channel. They hardly have views. And you will see, if you just type in the name, make it make sense, you're not going to turn up. It's not going to show up. You're not going to see it show up. You're going to see some other channel with the same name that is talking about celebrities and so on. You see the agenda. Okay, they want to always control the narrative. It has always been like that, and it will always be like that. So, my brother, my sisters, don't get distracted by war and religion. They are the same thing. Don't get mixed up with politics and religion. They are the same thing. That's what I'm saying to you. So you see a war that is fighting right now, and you fail to realize that there's another war that people are not seeing. It is truth fighting against lie. And many people start seeing the lies. And when you start seeing the lies, they would think that you're picking sides. Because when you start to see who was the aggressor, when you start to see who are the liars, when you see that people in talks, okay, and in negotiation, and while they're in talks and negotiation, one attack, you know who's playing the role of the traitor. You know who's playing the role of the aggressor, and you can't keep quiet, even though you know who control social media and what they will try to do to you on social media. Yet they are trying to tell you the other one, okay, is doing something that is barbaric, while they themselves are committing the barbaric acts on you, okay, in a more systematic way, in a more hidden way. So one wants to destroy you publicly for all to see, as an example, and one they're gonna do it secretly. But it's the same system at work. So, my brother, my sisters, win the war. in your mind, because the real war is the war for your mind. Okay, it is the war for your soul. It is the war for your body. So they want body, soul, and mind. That's why this war is World War III. They want your body, soul, okay, and mind. They want to control you. That's why Israel pushing their religious narrative. And Iran is saying they're gonna fight, they're fighting a holy war and they're willing to die. Which I don't give them wrong to be willing to die. Because they are not the aggressor. Okay. And what most people don't realize, that there's power when you die as a martyr. There's no power when you die as a coward. And we could see the one who's going and hiding in his bunker because he's a coward. You starting a war, but yet you want to go hide in your bunker. Yet you telling the world that there's a special man who exists thousands of years ago, who come from you, okay, and he's gonna save the world. Yet you're destroying the world. So my brother and my sisters, this is a war for your mind. That's why I'm exposing this war and the religious bodies that are behind this war. Okay, so in short, I'm saying don't let religion take over your mind. Don't let religion keep you in a warfare. That doesn't make sense. Because, for example, if you grow up in secular Christianity and you believe that the Bible is literal and secular history, okay, how could you turn around now and speak against Bibi when Bibi Netanyahu I'm speaking about, when they give you that book and give you the interpretation and you keep using the interpretation? There's so many people around the world who disagree with Netanyahu, right? But yet they're still speaking their Bible theology in which they were brainwashed with. They're still saying, oh, Jesus wins, Jesus this, Jesus that. They're still idiots. So they will have you, okay, going to the gallows. You like a sheep, being like the dumbest animal, a sheep. You going to the slaughter while you saying hallelujah, while you saying amen, and you know nothing about amen, right? But you saying amen, and you don't know why you're saying amen. You saying hallelujah, and you don't know why you're saying hallelujah. You saying Jesus, and you do not know why you're saying Jesus. And if I ask you to show me Jesus, you can't show me Jesus, which means it's an imaginary character. So therefore, your imagination has to be before this character because you have to imagine this character. That's how dumb people can be. So, as I say, if you go and look at the people who are speaking about this war, and you see the comment, you see the dumbness of the people on this planet. You see how the mass has been kept blind. Because this is exactly what they want to accomplish. You realize with AI, you can accomplish the goal of having a fake Messiah. You realize with AI, a president could be killed, buried, and you've been lied to, and they could use AI and still show you that person, and you definitely believe that that is that person. There's so much people could be eliminated. I'm talking about important people. Okay? Already been gotten rid of, and they could use AI, and you still seeing these people, and you believe these people still alive. Because why? AI is based on a lie, just like religion is based on a lie, just like this whole war is based on a lie, and they're gonna lie to you. So all I'm saying, do not believe in the lie, but believe in your intuition leading you and guiding you to bring you on a platform like this. Believe in your intuition leading you and guiding you to find this life at this particular time in your life, that you could use the knowledge to enrich yourself, because you're here searching for yourself. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Netanyahu? Trump? Do you see an army? If you see an army, you have to be an army of one, because everything exists in your imagination. So my brother, my sisters, this life is to get you to really think about what is going on. It is to get you to think about what is more important, oil or the dollar. Which one is more important? They could print any amount of money, but the oil, the mineral, all these things that come from the earth, it represent that is which is within you. Even though money also represent that currency within you, you have to realize that it is paper and it is fiat currency and it doesn't really have any intrinsic value of its own. But you are giving value to it just by what? A promise. And so if you think, you would realize that any empire or kingdom that build themselves on the money system, as in the paper dollar, okay, they have to back it up with something. So they used to back it up with gold, and they move it from the gold standard. It have to be oil that is backing it up right now. And these Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates and so on, Dubai, all of these different areas, they've been strengthening the dollar because they have oil. But when it comes to the religion that we've been fed with in the West, they tell us that there's a power that will rise up that no one can sell and buy unless this power is in control. But we see who want to create sanction all around the world, and we see who want to create embargoes and so on around the world. We see who implement a strategy of starving the people in Venezuela. We see who implement a strategy of starving the people in Syria, the people in Lebanon, the people in where Gaddafi was there, Libya, okay, the Panama Canal down in Panama with Noriega and so on. We see who invaded Grenada. We see who invaded the Caribbean and act as pirates and blowing up ships everywhere and boasting about it. So we could see that power. We see what happened in the time of COVID, where they wanted was to determine who sell and who buy, where they were blocking people's account in the banks, where they were demanding people to take the job or lose their job. That is why you have to use these wars to teach you about these wolves in sheep clothing, to teach you about these vain religions that you're giving yourself to be controlled. That's why religion is religion. They're relating a lie and make you believe the lie. Just like everyone who's reporting the war, everyone have their lies. And everyone is playing the victim game. And religion make you feel like you're a victim and make you play the victim game. So even the aggressors, could you imagine? You being the aggressor, you first attack, you start to bomb a country, and then turn around and you playing the victim. And then you have masses of people, millions of people, you speaking to them on a podium. Okay, just in your jacket and your tie. And most people are going for it. Because why? They live in what? Survival mode. Because it's like they living in a human zoo. They live in the animalistic realm where they can see, taste, touch, and smell. And it's all about getting the dollar. It's all about money. No integrity. That's why most people and social media, they can't speak this way because they have no sense of freedom. They have no sense of liberty because why? They're controlled by money. So to call yourself a religious person, saying that you are Christian and you want to speak against Netanyahu, you've been a hypocrite because you're part of the same cloth, you cut from the same cloth, you come from the same thing. It's just a reflection of you. What Israel is doing is just a reflection of Christianity. All of the raping and the pillage and the pedophile things have been going on with the Epstein file and so on, and what will be happening in Gaza. It is happening psychologically too, because it does grape your mind at a very young age. Whether there's a war named pedophile or pedophilia or whatever, okay, as long as you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's been happening psychologically. That's why they put secular Christianity in the school system in the Caribbean and in Africa and many parts of the world. They've been forcing themselves on you sexually, but not physically, psychologically, and spiritually. Because we're living in a sexual world, a world of exchange, a world of giving and receiving. So right now, with America and Israel, it is a sexual relationship that is taking place, whereby America is prostituting itself to Israel. That is why the American soldiers, whether you black, you white, or pink, it doesn't matter with skin color you are, you're fighting a Zionist war under the pretense that you join the army to protect your damn country. So when you live in a fractionized society and you do not realize it's a fractionized society, you will fall for the bait. So many people encourage their children to go join army, to go and join navy, because all they were seeing is money. That is why if you was to speak to someone from Iran who fully invested in their religion, they'll tell you they're fighting a holy war. And if you was to speak to someone from the Zionist side, okay, from Israel side, they also will tell you that they're fighting a holy war. They'll tell you Trump is anointed by God, and they will give you this God bullshit. You understand? Feed you with this God bullshit, okay, and this Messiah bullshit, and this Mashiach, and all of these different terms that they use, when everything actually exists in your consciousness, in your awareness. So there have always been war that has been fought on this planet, but most people are unaware of the war that they are fighting in their mind, and they're losing the war every time and keep being recycled and coming back here being idiots, talking about Jesus coming soon. Is always soon and never can come until they put in place an AI system to bring a fake Messiah to you. That's what they want to accomplish. I'm sick and tired of melanated people being so brainwashed and deceived with Christianity and also with the Muslim religion too. Okay. That's why in Nigeria and so on, you have like the Boko Haram and so on, who kill Christians in Sudan. They slaughtering each other. What they do, they set up ammo against each other. And when you read both books are saying the same thing. Kill the enemy, kill the infidels, get rid of them. That is why Netanyahu likened Jesus to Genghis Khan. Many people say, oh, how could he do that? Genghis Khan was such a wicked man. But people cannot see the wickedness of religion. People can't see the wickedness of religion. That's how blind people are. So most people seeing the war, and most people commenting about the war, and most people giving their input about the war, but very few people, I mean, I must be the only person who say the war is like anti-religion. It is like religion. built on confusion, built on lies, built on deception, built on a hierarchy system, built on controlling your mind, built on keeping you in survival mode. So everybody competing even on social media to see what topic they could bring to give you to get as much views as possible. They've gone so far till they say, "Oh, Netanyahu is dead." Till it's about 7 times now he died and come back. Then afterwards they show you some AI thing with him 6 fingers, and then they show old videos from before. And it is because of social media, people realizing the propaganda that been going on for centuries, for years. It's now people seeing the devils. Since I was growing up as a boy, I've heard people talk about America being the world police and what NATO is all about. But when you become more aware, when your IQ go to another level because you learn to think for yourself and start to see things from a different angle, you see everything in plain sight. That's why you don't get caught up saying you're going to mark no X. No, your X is your X. Your Christ consciousness. That's what X represent. That's why they say Xmas, meaning Christmas or Christmas, which is a pagan thing. I don't even want to use the word pagan. Okay? Because religion use that word to tell you that religion is the way. Okay? But they use a fake celebration to control the world and everybody vibrate towards it. And I'm not going to lie for you. I make a lot of money around that time because I have business. Okay? It doesn't mean that I'm going to not sell. I'm going to sell. Okay? But I have to speak the truth. I mean to say, we having this human experience on this planet and money being the medium of exchange. Everyone have to survive some way. But selling your soul and selling yourself short and so on, to some people that is the way, but to some other people that is not the way. That is why I'm not going to come on social media and compromise, because my eyes are not blind. I see who's the aggressor. I see whose empire is weakening and they want to strengthen the empire. How could you tell me that you have the power and you have the right to bring down a elected president who went to the poll democratically when you are feeding the world with democratic ideology, philosophy, and you're saying that these other countries, they're communist and they're totalitarian and so on, but your country, we stand for free speech and we stand for freedom, and they call yourself the land of the brave and the land of the free and all of this thing, and then you want to censor people, okay, on social media, and you want to tell people what to say and you want to control the narrative, and then you say my First Amendment right to speak, and then you want to still censor me and social media and want to still shadow ban me, and you want to suppress my inner economy and ecology by doing that. It's not gonna work. So sometimes they demonetize you, they do all of these things. But when you understand who you are and you understand the power that you possess, none of these things move you. Okay, because you'll always win the war. So instead of you thinking about Iran winning the war, Israel winning the war, you think about winning the war in your mind. That's the war. That's the real war that is happening. Okay, this one that is happening is just a reflection of that what is taking place within. So all of the idiotic Christians, they're gonna fall for it. And whichever religion you tie yourself to, you're gonna fall for it. But when you find your true self and you realize that true salvation is self-realization, you will speak the same conversation as me. It doesn't matter where in the world you are living. It doesn't matter what is your complexion. We're gonna speak the same one conversation. And that is true freedom. Okay. Let me just read this comment here. Someone says, hi, hi to you too. Someone say thank you for the important work you do. You're very much welcome. Thank you very much for the comment. Okay, and let me use this opportunity to ask if you who are benefiting from this work to make sure support the work, because the YouTube algorithm is not working on my end because I'm not kissing their ass. Okay, so any way you can help, I would definitely encourage you to help. I normally ask people if they can donate a book. I have a wish list, and they could purchase a book and they could send it. I have a mailbox, in America. So if you live in America and you send from one state to another state, you send it to Floral. I say Floral or Doral. I think it's Doral. Okay, you send it there and so on. It mightn't cost you anything for shipping and so on. Might just cost you to buy it and package it and so on. Okay, so yeah, support this work any way you can. Help me, to drink a cup of tea. Okay, I normally use herbal tea. Okay, some people say buy me a cup of coffee. Okay, sometimes I do take a sip of coffee. Okay, but it normally make me feel high, put me in a kind of high because I have a lot of energy. So guess that's the reason why. Okay, so be reminded that the kingdom of God is within you, and that's the only kingdom, and that's the greatest kingdom. Don't make the kingdom of Israel be in you. Don't make the kingdom of any other of any religion be in you. Okay, be in control of your mind. Someone say good stuff. Thank you for the comment. Okay, someone else says, hey, good morning, my beloved brother. Big respect to you. Big respect to you too. Okay, it's always a pleasure to have you on and for you to participate and give your honest, comment. Okay, let me know how you see what is happening, who you see as the aggressor, and who you see have a very dark and sinister agenda. Okay, let me know. It is very important. Okay, because what I can understand is you being the aggressor and no, and then turning around trying to play the victim game and trying to be a victim. That is why when I hear Netanyahu speak, it just remind me of preachers. It just remind me of secular Christianity. It just remind me of hypocrisy. 100% hypocrisy. And most people build their identity on such ideology. Someone says much respect. Yeah, Tina, enough respect to you too. Someone say, Wagwan brethren, you deal with. Yeah, most of the time when people say Wagwan, more like Jamaican, happy from the Caribbean. Okay, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just doing God's work. Okay. You see, most people do not know what is God's work. Most people think when you join some religious organization and you give out a check, okay, or when you give charity, what they call charity, which is gift to blind you. They always give charity to keep you in poverty. But when you come out and you speak like me, okay, and you don't follow the narrative, and you're not willing to sell yourself short for money, you're doing God's work. Okay, this is you doing God's real work. Okay, someone Fitzroy Phillips say blessings from Grenada. It's great to have someone from neighboring island as Grenada. Okay, we know 1984 America invaded Grenada. Okay, and try to destroy the people of Cuba, and up to this day, their next agenda is to take down the people of Cuba, have the people in Cuba in very very hard time. They want to starve the people, putting sanction against the people. Yet in the West, they teach you Christianity that no one be able to sell and buy unless they have the mark. So who carrying the mark? Open your eyes and you see these are the same people. The devil teaching you about the devil. The evil teaching you about the evil, so you won't know that's the evil. It's a disguise, and I am uncovering the disguise. These preachers in your islands, they need to be stoned with shit. They're shit talkers. And these places that people gather themselves every Sunday, they're spiritual shit houses. It's to keep it to live your life as you're living in a toilet. They give you a toilet mindset. That is why it built unfair, guilt, judgment, condemnation, self-doubt, self-hate. Do you know how much you have to doubt and hate yourself to believe that there's someone coming to save you? When no one is coming to save you or deliver you, you have to go to a 9 to 5 job every day. If Jesus was gonna save you, you should just call on Jesus to pay the bills. Like I went into a supermarket and I had one item. So I was asking the woman if this one item could be cashed there and so on. And I can't remember what else was said. And then she tried to bring in Christianity to talk about Jesus and so on. And next a guy was there standing next to me, a Rastafarian, and I touched the Rastafarian and I said, you know what she's saying there about Jesus? You know, it is so because you remember Jesus paying the bills, you know. So I said, brother, remember when you go to Vinlec, which is the electricity company in my country, remember Jesus paying the bills. And when you go to the CWSA, which is the water company, and you know, these things that they own by white people, you know, okay, these same Caucasian people that give them the churches, okay. I say, remember Jesus paying the bills. Okay, I say, and when we go in the supermarket to shop, remember, you know, it's Jesus paying the bills. And me and the brother was, she didn't even want us to move. I say, look, she want to keep me here. She didn't want me to move. She loved the energy. You understand what I'm saying? That just to tell you how they keep the people, you understand, in nonsense. And when they come across people with higher IQ, okay, we know how to just shift the thing around. I didn't help she, I didn't damn she, I didn't call she any names. I didn't call she atheist like they do call us. Okay? I just speak in a more sarcastic and a more humorous, joking way. You understand? And she herself, I break the whole ice of everything there. She forgets the whole Christian talk right there. She whole Jesus talk. Because she realize he don't pay no bills. Okay? You have to pay your bills, man. You have to save yourself. Someone says, from Haiti, love from Haiti, paradise. I just feel so good when someone reach out to me from Haiti. My heart is so much with the people of Haiti and the Haitian background and what their forefathers, our ancestors stood for. People like Henry Christophe and Toussaint. I resonate with Toussaint Louverture more than anyone else, okay? To be honest with you. Desailly's and all of these kind of men. We want men like these men to stand up. These wasn't men who are going on a pulpit and bowing down to no Jesus and bowing down to no idol. These are men who are willing to fight to the death. Just like how the Iranians are willing to fight to the death while this man is crawling in a hole and hiding in a hole called a bunker. Yet this headset man in America is turning around calling the people of Iran rats, saying they're going to hide in a hole. And you know, the millions of people living in America, you know, they're going to believe, all these evangelical Christians, all these people are going to believe this man talking shit. Because I'm telling you, religion always influence war. Because it's what you speak, words are spell. So when people casting spell and they casting spell for Israel, that's how they brainwash them and keep them as slaves. So people in Africa, they poor, they broke. They're taking all the wealth out of Africa and starving the people. Yet the people going to say, oh, these Jews, they're chosen. Israel is this. Israel have the strongest army when Israel army is weak. Oh, Israel have the strongest air force. And I'm saying these things because as a boy growing up, these are the things we were told. When you go to church, they preach about the 6-day war. Israel had a 6-day war. Can't remember who they fought it against. And they end in 6 days. And they brag and boast about it. So I know what I'm saying. Okay, someone says here. Yeah. So greetings to my brother in Haiti, man. Big up to Haiti. One of these days, Haiti gonna rise. Haiti must rise. Haiti must rise. And France must fall. And America must fall. And the Clintons, they must fall. For what they do to the people of Haiti. That's why when people come and tell me about forgive, that's why they use Christianity to make you soft as a man, to make you a jellyfish with no backbone and no bars, and talk about fucking forgiveness and to forgive. You can forgive, but you can't forget. I could never forget what they do to Haiti. I could never forget what they do to Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I could never forget George Floyd. I could never forget. I trying to remember some of the names. All these people that policemen just killed, just like that. I could never forget what happened in South Africa, apartheid. I can't forget these things. And I can't forget all of the blind leaders in Africa. I can't forget about the blind leaders in the Caribbean, puppet leaders. I can't forget those kind of people. I can't forget what they did to Gaddafi. I can't forget what they did in Libya. I can't forget what they did in Syria, Lebanon, all of these different places. And then how they playing the victim. And all of them have their flaws. But I live in the West. So I have to expose the West because the West is out to capture my mind to believe their lies. Okay? So it takes other people from the other part, okay, to expose their part too. But I speaking about the West because I born here and grew up in the West. And I see the Western system for what it is. I see the wolf in sheep clothing. I see all the Caribbean so-called prime ministers and presidents, all of these government officials. I see them as puppets and a string. They have to just carry out orders. They're just civil servants. And I want the people to stop, give the power to them and put them on some pedestal up, then think they're up there. They're not. Your consciousness is it, man. Your awareness is it. The power is inside of you. I'm here to empower you. I'm here to uplift you. I'm here to tell you when the war in your mind. The battle is in your mind. Okay, someone said, no, brethren, you must gather upon the valley of Jehoshaphat, Armageddon, brethren. Okay, it's someone speaking from his religious ideology. When you're born in this world, you didn't born speaking these things. You're born in this world with your mental faculties like your will, okay, your perception, your reasoning, your memory, your intuition, your imagination. You're born with these things, but you didn't born speaking about no Armageddon. You didn't born speaking about no Jehoshaphat. You know what I mean? You didn't born speaking those things. Those are things that you've been indoctrinated with. They indoctrinate your mind. Someone say it's Iran, the valley of decision. I do not know what they're speaking about when they talk about the valley of decision. Okay, all I can tell you, the valley of decision is in your mind. This is where everyone decides. Okay, everything in this world is first mental, it's first psychological. Every weapon they're using in this war, it was first mental, it was first psychological. It was first in the mind. It was first created in the invisible, and it's now being reflected in the visible. So where you're supposed to fight the war and win the war is within. Okay, you're fighting for yourself. That's why you have to save yourself. You're born here alone and you're going to leave here alone. Someone said, brother, you need to read Elijah Muhammad message to the black man. I know about the Muhammad Elijah message. Okay. And I know, okay, about my own experience. So tell me about Elijah Muhammad. Tell me about you. For years I've heard Farrakhan with his nice speech. Okay, he has a lot of nice speech. Okay, he's a good speaker. He's an eloquent speaker. But just yapping. I rather a man organize and say, let us take up weapon and fight. I rather a race war. Simple as that. Don't tell me no stupidness about, oh, Elijah Muhammad and this and that. Bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. A bunch of big men just up with some bow tie and a man playing his speaker and he living like the Lord. He living like the God. One time I heard a man say that he signed a pact with the KKK. I don't know how true it is. Okay. So don't come and tell me who I need to listen to. No. I listen to all of these men and I can make decision for myself and know once I could know someone just spitting bullshit and someone is just a yapper and he's just gonna yap and people willing to give their life for this man. People be willing to give their life for Farrakhan. But what Farrakhan is saying that Malcolm X and other people didn't say. And when Malcolm X find out all the thing about Elijah Muhammad and find out and go down to the truth of it, they kill him. So you can't come and rub shit at my mouth, man. You can't do that. I too awake for that. As someone asked him what Elijah Muhammad message says. Because if their message is not pointing you to look within yourself, if their message is not saying man know thyself, if this message is not saying love yourself, okay, it's all bullshit. And then you don't need no one to really tell you to really love yourself. Okay, because the moment you realize the key is loving and believing in yourself and you really find yourself, you see no man. That's why even in the book of Mindset and the Bible, when they tell you that this man rose from the dead and he was walking with two his servants, if you understand your conscious and your subconscious mind, how your conscious and your subconscious mind works, if you understand you're the 13th one and you have 12 principles, okay, and he say two of them was walking on what they call Eminence Road, okay, and he said when their eyes were open, he vanished before them. Elijah Muhammad will vanish before you. Malcolm X will vanish before you. MLK will vanish before you. Nelson Mandela will vanish before you. Everyone will vanish before you when you find yourself. When you see your true self. When you behold your true spiritual essence. And that's the whole story in the Bible, and people reading it and think it was a man walking and he raised from some literal dead and two fellas was walking with him. No. Your conscious and subconscious mind, bro. When you do wake up, then Jesus will disappear. That idol will disappear out of your mind. That false God will disappear. Someone say Genghis Khan's God said he had the right and duty even to conquer the world for the Mongolia. You see, as I said before, all of these, whether is it Jesus, Genghis Khan, you name it, all of them always stating that they're doing what they're doing for their God. Okay? And you have to understand that they're definitely non-physical entities that is here that feeds off negative energy like guilt and shame, judgment, condemnation. They feed off wars and so on. And these men normally open portals to get a communication feed from non-physical entities. So when you hear the talk about Trump anointed by God and Netanyahu talking his bullshit and so on, they're looking for Stargate and they're opening up portals. Okay? For example, anyone who could remember when they entered into Iraq in the I think it was the Reagan government that time, and they say that that Saddam had a weapon of mass destruction. Up to now, we can't find the weapon of mass destruction. When they were the ones who armed Iraq against Iran, the one that was to destroy Iran for so long. For over 30-something years, Benjamin Netanyahu is saying that Iran is 1 week away from enriching uranium to build atomic bomb. But yet, they can have atomic bomb in Israel. They can have atomic bomb in America. They can have atomic bomb in France and all the other countries and so on, in NATO and so on. They can have atomic bomb. Russia can have atomic bomb. China can have atomic bomb. North Korea can have atomic bomb. All, but other countries, you understand, mustn't have atomic bomb. So why you build it in the first place? It is because they know that Iran can develop capabilities to wipe off Israel off the map because they wanted a place in that region, a very strategic and geographical place in that region. And they had many regions in mind. They had Africa, certain parts in Africa in mind too. As a matter of fact, all of those areas, they used to be Africa. Okay? But if you understand the Trans-Sahara slave trade and you understand the Atlantic slave trade and you put them together, you see the same two religion and everything, and you understand what we're really going on. Okay? Like a lot of people mentioning how Iran, when they drive out the Shah and the Khamenei the Ayatollahs, as such say, when they started to rule and so on, and they had hostages by the American embassy. They free the children and women and the blacks. Okay, but there's a black part of Iran too that you don't see. Okay, because as I said before, and I will say it again, we are the indigenous people of this entire planet. And they did us bad. All of them. Okay. And they use their false God narrative. Someone says that Jesus Christ wasn't a founder of a religion. He just died to save mankind, which was his mission. Now, let me explain that for you. Okay? There's no such a thing as Jesus was. You have to get that clear. There's no such a thing as was. Don't make English language fool you. There is no such a thing as the past. There's no such a thing as the future. There's only now. Common sense. And if you wake up, you realize there's only light and darkness. There's only one damn cycle. There's only one cycle. You're either awake or you're asleep. You're either awake or you're asleep. It's as simple as that. You're either blind or you could see. It's as simple as that. So there's no such a thing as Jesus was. This consciousness, this awareness. Let's give the benefit of the doubt, right? And let me make sense of it to show you. Let's say there was a man. If there was a man that existed thousands of years ago named Jesus that used to do all of these special miracles that they tell you about, then it is a state of consciousness. It is a state of awareness. It's a state of mind. So you're telling me that state of mind exists and no one else could ever have that state of mind? That state of consciousness. Make it make sense. That's why this channel name Make It Make Sense. You know? Make it make sense for me with your comment. They tell you that there was a woman named Jezebel. How he painted his face and he was controlling his husband and so on. We see a woman right now controlling the husband and so on, painting the face, do as they like and so on. We seeing women who believe they're entitled. We're seeing all of these things happening. Why we are not seeing nobody walking on water and turning water into wine and all of these different things? How we not seeing no man who willing to give their life? And no cross, literal cross. But I know this cross, people like myself, we are willing to give our life to stand for what is our experience because we are witnesses. You're talking. Man, you're still indoctrinated, man. Christopher, man, you're still brainwashed. You can't put old wine with new wine in new wine skin. You can't patch up the old with the new. That's why that's happened. With most people, they don't want to let go the idol. Damn idol. Jesus is an idol. Once you believe this man exists outside yourself, it's the man of intelligence within. The kingdom is within you, bro. Someone say facts. Nothing but facts. Everything that is said on this channel is always the facts. Because why? I'm speaking as a witness. I'm speaking from my experience. I'm not speaking from what I was indoctrinated with. I was willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram my subconscious mind. But what allowed me to do that? Experience that allowed me to go on the internet and everything and just bring confirmation to that one great experience. Once you have that experience, there's no turning back. Someone say, no one goes to the Father except through me. He founded Christianity. When he said no one go through the Father is your consciousness and your awareness. That's why it's only the Father could reveal His Son, and His Son could reveal the Father and through whom He failed to reveal Himself through, which means it's only those who have the experience of the awakening, those who experience the Jima that don't sleep. When you experience the Jima as you, that when you become invisible, that's when you leave the empty tomb. And where's the entrance for the empty tomb? Right here. Ooh. Man, that's why I could walk all over Christianity, man. When you leave this empty tomb here, man. That's why, go get my book, The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth. Go get that book, read that book. The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth. Go get that book. If you're still on. Okay? Someone said, no place like yard. No place like home, man. Someone say they stuck in foreign. They want to get out the concrete jungle. Okay, they follow the dream. They give you a fake American dream. It's always a fake dream. The land of opportunity is right here. Right between here. Right between two airs. Right between your two airs is the land of opportunity. So it doesn't matter where you live. Once you awake and your IQ go to another level, and and you understand your magnetic and electrical self, your magno-electrical self, okay, that's it. You're gonna attract and bring things into your reality, man. You become a conscious and a deliberate creator. You don't beg, okay? Someone says, yeah, unity, strength, no one goes to my mother except through me. Okay, and someone says here, the true religion is love because God is love. The true religion is love. But when you're gonna say God is love, okay, you have to be specific because if you're quoting the Bible and you're quoting the preacher that say God is love all the time and all the time, God is love, that's a lie. Because the very Bible says that I am God and there's no other. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Okay? And why, if there is only one God, why are you gonna say I am God and there's no other? Okay, is he in competition? Okay. And love is not an emotion as you think. Love is a realization. Okay. And when you come to that realization, you're not gonna quote no God outside of yourself to say that God outside of yourself is pure love. Because when you find love, you will find fear also. And realize that love and fear come from the same place. And you will also understand that there is a law of polarity, which is a law of opposite. Because you can't find God and then find the devil. You see? You see? See how what I say makes sense? You can't find God and then find the devil. Don't make nobody fool you. Understand the law of opposite and you understand where I'm coming from. So don't come in with this thing, oh, God, love. You have to be more specific with that. Because when you find love is when you're awake. And when you find yourself. And when you find God, you find the devil. When you find heaven, you find hell too. Okay? So don't go to no one extreme, man. Because you need love and fear to balance. 6 day war. It was Egypt, yeah, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq surrounded Israel in that war. Yeah, Christians like to boast about that 6 day war. But nobody ain't gonna boast about the war going on right now and Israel getting the ass hand to them, being the aggressor and trying to use the fake religion to get the religious Christians all around the world to back them up. Today they're in the church and they're back in Israel. Okay? Because why they brainwash and they're not knowing that they're serving the demiurge. Yeah, they don't know they're feeding themselves to the archons. Okay? Someone say, brother, you're a truth speaker, knows your history and about Haitian story and all history. We are Haitian, love you to my brother. Okay, so I always love for the people of Haiti, man. One of my dreams is one of these days to go to Haiti, see my brothers and my sisters, okay, in Haiti, okay? And I know Haiti will rise. I know Haiti must and will rise, okay? Someone say, bless up, brother, tell them. Someone say hi. Someone say Jesus Christ is not God, okay? You see, there's no separation, okay? Once you find your higher self, your true self, you can never deny the Christ consciousness, neither the Christ oil. So this is when people get caught up in the different religion. They say these different things. So if someone get caught up in Jehovah's Witness, they say, oh, Jesus is not God. Because that's why the CIA and all the Mossad, all of them who they behind Jehovah's Witness, who sponsor Jehovah's Witness and sponsor. You see, they say that Iran sponsor terrorism, but they sponsor terrorism in a different way. They sponsor terrorism to religion through the tracks, through and the missionaries and mercenaries in a different way and so on through the church system. You understand what I'm saying? While people from Iran and the Muslim, they do it a different way, but it's the same thing. All of them have the same agenda. That's why I say it never make any sense until you understand their real agenda. All of them have the same agenda. Someone say, now understand Elijah Muhammad said we need our own land. The black man taught them civilization. How you don't know, Lord have mercy. Okay. And someone say very true. Someone say thanks, and someone say speak the truth. Okay. You see, because speaking the truth is the only thing that will set you free. That's why I'm a free man. I will continue to speak the truth. Okay, this war is no different than religion. It's all confusion and lies. And it makes absolutely no sense until you understand the power of your mind and you understand the real war takes place in your mind and they want to control your mind and they want to control the narrative and they want to govern your mental and they want to control your inner economy and control your inner ecology. That's why they're destroying the outer ecology to distract you. So war, religion, all these things, they are only distraction to the man who's more self-aware and who's awakened to the light. So, my brother, my sister, I really want to thank you all very much for listening to me. I want to encourage you to continue to support this work. Okay, someone says this, the last comment I'm going to read. Someone said, yes, you're right, brother. The CIA also sponsor Mormon religion. Yes, I forgot was to mention that. Yes, they do. Okay, that is why I look at Mormon in the face and I beat my chest and I say, I am God. Who are you? And I was just playing with the ego to see his response. And he beat back his chest and said, I am God. And he was angry. And he was a white boy from Utah. They was coming from Utah. Okay, and I said to him, so why you have that picture with that white man and your shirt that says the last testament of Jesus, and you're going around telling my people, okay, to believe in Jesus and believe in Joseph Smith and Brigham Young and so on. He didn't want to have any more conversation with me. I have many encounter with them. I've always known that they're spies. They're not here to convert no people to Christianity. They just want to see how much monkeys they have in the islands. Okay, how much monkeys, religious monkeys. Okay, the chat people just living at the chattering mind, talking and no experience to back up what they're saying. Oh, listen to Elijah Muhammad. Listen to this. Listen to that. What is your damn experience? Don't tell me about. I don't want to hear nothing about Elijah Muhammad. I don't want to hear nothing about Malcolm X. None of these. I want to hear about your experience. Share your experience. What is your experience? Are you awakened? Are you enlightened? Are you self-aware? Have you experienced consciousness as your true essence? Have you become invisible? Have you experienced the board that takes place within? Have you experienced the inner eye? These are conversations that need for us to have. Not listen to this and listen to that. It's just going around like spinning top in mud. It's the same people keep being recycled back on the earth all the time, coming back talking a bunch of shit. Okay. So my brother and my sisters, I really want to come to close here. I'm gonna go on another live. So you could check me out on my Black Mad Guru channel where I'm gonna go there and continue. Okay, and another live there. I really want to thank you very much. Okay, I wanted was to just make this an hour, but it's an hour and almost 20 minutes. Okay, so I really want to thank you all very much. I want to say that you need to check out my links down below where I have my books. I have 10 or more books that you can choose from. If you want to learn how to turn water into wine, you can get a book. If you want spiritual recipe for better living, you get a book. If you want to know about the secret vagina, mystery of the virgin birth, where I share my whole experience and expose where you see where Christianity is not what it is. Okay, if you want that, you can get that book. You want to learn about meditate, eradicate poverty, to understand how meditation is the key and so on. You can get a book and so on. Okay, whatsoever you desire, how to open the floodgates of abundance, and much more. Okay, you want a gratitude journal to journal your life. I already have the affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful. Now you just add the rest. Claim it. Okay. So, my brother, my sisters, my encouragement is check out all of the links that are down below and definitely let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So, with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. out.